What's going on, guys? This is Warfully bringing you guys another video, and for this video I'm going to be doing my 2-year review. Stay tuned, let's go. Alright, what's going on, guys? So, my experience with May trucking in the last 2 years. So I'm gonna walk you through from the very start, right? So, just like everybody else, we go to school. I went to AIT in Las Vegas, which has been bought up by Roadmaster. Warner owns them. So there's 3 companies that were recruiting us out of school, which was Warner, Covenant, and May Trucking Company. Warner, of course, was the biggest because, you know, it's the school was run by them. Covenant was the second one because they actually came and showed up, and May Trucking, they had no representative even come out to the school. So those are the 3 I had to choose from. Of those 3, I liked Covenant the most, which I'm very thankful I did not go with them now. They sold us actually on solo driving. They said that we could solo drive, which now I know was a huge lie just to get me in, or the people in our class in. They offer the teaming bonus and stuff like that, which is also, you know, you gotta actually be there for 5 years, so more lies. So I almost fell for that trick. Thank goodness I didn't. The reason I didn't go to Covenant, like I said, I was all set to go. I had orientation date set and everything. They didn't want to let me bring the dog in, and like I said, the only reason I'm even in trucking right now is because I wanted a job where I can bring my dog to work. You know, I don't want to work a normal 9 to 5. I just wanted somewhere I had my dog, where can I work and, you know, still hang out with this princess, right? So that's why trucking was even, you know, an option for me. So we did that. So right before I went to orientation to Covenant, I called May Trucking Company and I told them my situation, because I was applying to everywhere that was pet friendly, like every trucking company out there I was applying to that was pet friendly. So what happened was May Trucking Company, when I talked to the recruiters and stuff, they made special accommodations for me to actually bring my pet with me to Phoenix to do orientation there, which was amazing. I would not be in trucking at all if, you know, the office staff in Phoenix wouldn't have done that to me. Because I mean, I wouldn't have went to Covenant. I would have just quit, to be completely honest. I would not be trucking if it wasn't for them. So with that, I'm very thankful for them. Like I said, I've only been in Phoenix one time since orientation. You know, I always want to do something for them because it's always, you know, made an impact for me. Like, you throw all around like that word, you know, a lot of people throw around like family atmosphere, you know, family oriented company and stuff like that. But I mean, that was probably the biggest thing that still sits with me today. It's the only reason I'm in trucking, you know, and they, you know, went out of their way for me like that. So no, gotta love these guys for it, you know. So anyways, I did that through orientation, and I was completely garbage at orientation, right? So after I went through school, it was about 4 weeks after school is when I actually had my orientation date, because I was set to go to Covenant, you know, 2 weeks after I graduated, and then I got that cold feet and went to May Trucking 2 weeks after that was my orientation date. So yeah, I went to orientation about 4 weeks after in Phoenix, and I was completely horrible, guys. You went through the little horseshoe that you do in your orientation classes, and I destroyed that course, guys. I'm so sorry for the people that run that orientation. I was so bad, you know. I hit tires, and I kept going too. That's the bad part. Like, I hit the tires, and then I kept going. So I got yelled at it for it, but they didn't fire me, so thank goodness. Because they would have fired me, it would have been over. I wouldn't be making these videos. So I mean, they gave me a second chance at that at least. I didn't hit anybody or any property. I just hit some tires. So yeah. Anyways, I had my mentor. My mentor was okay with me bringing my dog, which is insane. We didn't really get along too much, but I always had respect for him because, you know, he went out of his way to, you know, let me bring my dog with me through orientation, right? So okay, guys, so this video is actually going to be sponsored by Dove Lotion. So, you know, truckers, when you guys are there over the road and when you get some ashy elbows or something, Dove is great for clearing up those ashy elbows. Back to the video. Orientation and stuff, and I started this time of the year right when it started snowing and stuff, so I had to drive through snow, sleet, fog, all that stuff. Horrible experience when you're very first starting out of trucking, right? To go through, you know, your very first winter by yourself, with no experience at all, is pretty tough. So we did that. I was with my mentor for a couple of weeks, but we were broken down for about a week and a half, almost 2 weeks of that. And I was on the verge of quitting, right? I was just alone with the dog. I was just stressing out. We're in a hotel room by ourselves, me, Lulu, and my mentor. It was really weird. I wanted to quit. I wanted to go back home and say, screw this, you know, it's not something I really even need, because I got like my sports business and stuff. Like, I was ready to quit. But they let me solo out, so they had another mentor come pick me up, and they brought me over to the Denver terminal where I was able to solo out. And mind you, I knew absolutely no hands-on stuff. Like, I never got to really back. Anytime we had a backing situation, my mentor would take it over, right? So a lot of the things that I do now as a mentor, a lot of the reasons I make videos now like this is because the experiences I went through. Like, I've screwed up before. I went through mentorship, and I was a mentee, and I went through it, and I learned nothing coming in. I didn't know how to slide tandems. I didn't know how to slide my fifth wheel. My backing was horrible. Like, I wish there was information about May trucking before, so I would have made that decision instead of Covenant. And I wish that there was information to kind of help me know what I was doing in my job, even, because I knew nothing of my job when I was first starting as well. So that's kind of the motivation for even kind of doing these videos, right? So anyways, back to my review. So I tested out, knew nothing really. I still passed, because I mean, it's not too hard to pass, especially back then. They had a different driver development guy doing it, and it wasn't too hard to pass. I knew the questions, bookwork stuff, atlas stuff. You did it all in orientation anyways, so it's not anything really different when you're soloing out. So we did all that. I passed. The very first 3 to 6 months on my own, pretty scary, right? Like I said, I didn't even know how to slide the tandems my first couple of weeks. I was on the phone with my friends that I went through orientation with. My very first load, I was overweight, didn't know how to slide my tandems, or I had to slide my fifth wheel. I called my mentor. He told me to push it with my feet. It was the most traumatic experience of my life. I ruined my brand new shoes. It was pouring rain. I was lost. Had to slide the fifth wheel. I had no idea how to do it. I relied on my mentor. He told me to push it with my feet. I was out there for about an hour or two until some other trucker guy came by and said, "You're retarded. Why are you pushing this with your feet? This is how you slide your fifth wheel," right? So horrible, horrible, horrible. And I got an overweight ticket on that very single load going through Boise, Idaho. My very first and only ticket was that very first load. And when I got that ticket, Lulu locked me out of the truck. It was pouring rain. By far the worst experience I ever had. I wanted to quit again. So I've had many I want to quit, F this experiences when I very first started, right? Locked myself out. I didn't even have a chance to get a spare key yet. Like, I was on the way to pay it yard to even get a key. Locked out. Lulu was just looking at there smiling, hitting the window. She didn't know any better, of course, but she locked me out. She was hitting the window and hit the the lock button or whatever. So whatever, the very first load was by far my worst one. I talked about this one before in a couple of my stories and stuff, but by far my worst experience. But 3 to 6 months or whatever, it was kind of cool. I kind of got to learn the job. I was getting pretty decent at it. I was asked to be a mentor too, and once I was asked to be one, it kind of clicked for me. Like, I should start taking this job serious, right? Because when I was just doing this job, it was just more so just kind of doing it. It wasn't really just a job, really. I didn't really see myself as a career with this. I just thought I was like an overpriced pizza boy, really, going from point A to point B. Instead of delivering pizzas, I was delivering fries, toilet paper, or whatever else we carry. So yeah, once I got asked to be a mentor, I started putting a lot more work in to kind of get to know this and stuff, and kind of know what I'm doing. So when I'm telling other people what to do, it'll make more sense if I actually know what I'm doing, right? So that's when I really started, putting, a lot of effort into actually knowing every aspect about this job, reading through my yellow book and, blue book again, over and over and over again, really getting to know this job. So I did that. I was actually dating my ex-girlfriend at the time. So I took a lot of time off. I wasn't really running hard either because we were both on Western 11. So I drive like 100 50-mile a day just so we can kind of meet up and, you know, hang out and stuff. Taking advantage of all my home time and stuff. I would fake sick a couple of days just so I could hang out and stuff with her. So yeah, I was not running hard at all my first year at all. I think I could show you guys right up here. If I can find it, I'll show you my gross for my my very first year in trucking. I'll show you how much I made with May Trucking as well. That's kind of slacking off, just trying to hang out with girls and stuff like that. So anyways, about the year mark, you know, I was mentoring and stuff, had a couple students, feeling pretty good. But we decided to team drive. So me and the girlfriend at the time decided team driving. And team driving, I highly do not recommend. I'm so glad I didn't go to Covenant because of it. Team driving was horrible. I hated it. It was so hard to sleep in the back. And then you kind of just want to kind of spend time. So hopefully if you are team driving, I hope you hate them with a passion, so you don't really want to stay awake and hang out with them at all. Just kind of get your rest if you can even sleep back there, because it's pretty hard to sleep. Plus we had 2 dogs. It was this stuffy, cramped sleeping situation. Sucked. When we're at a shipper receiver, we're only doing 1 bed because there's 2 of us living up here with dogs and stuff. We had to fit all our clothes on the top bunk, was our storage. It sucked. Anytime where I was at a shipper receiver, I had to sleep on the floor. It was not a fun experience at all. I had to quit. So yeah, we ended up breaking up and stuff over that. And from there, I got my own truck in around February of this year. Kind of pushed myself to really not want, you know, kind of take this job more seriously, you know, not take days off and things like that. And then March hit, March Madness. I was going to take home time and stuff for, you know, do the sports stuff. And that's when COVID hit, right? So once COVID hit is right when I told myself I am not going to take any days off, because I want to push out as many students as we can, because it was a really scary time at the time. Nobody really knew what any of this stuff was at all. You know, so, you know, class sizes were, you know, getting lower. My whole mindset was that I want to get more people through, you know, training. So if I take days off, that's one student that's not going to, you know, he's going to have to wait an extra 2 weeks or whatever until they can get a job or whatever. So my mindset was, I'm taking no days off. I'm going to try to push out as much, you know, students as I can so that people can have jobs, you know. So that's kind of where I was. At the time too, it was a really scary time for trucking once COVID hit. I think 2 companies went under. I mean, they're gone now. I think it was Celadon and it was another one, right? It was like a trucking apocalypse is what, you know, was kind of going through the air. And it was a really scary time. And I remember calling the company too. I was talking to my DM. I'm like, you know, how's the company doing? Like, you know, load wise and stuff. And it was still good, you know, even through, you know, crisis like this. The things that we carry are recession proof. You know, we carry, you know, Coors, not the greatest piss beer, right? But I mean, we carry Coors, you know, Home Depot stuff, toilet paper, paper towels, which were really popular at the time, frozen food. Everything that we carry here in May Trucking, we're going to keep carrying no matter what, you know, whether pandemic, recession, whatever, you know, we're always going to have a job here because of the type of things that we carry. So I mean, we never really slowed down. It was a little bit slower. There's a couple days where, you know, I sat, because I wasn't usually used to sitting before, you know, all this COVID stuff. It would usually just get load after load after load after load. But I think since COVID, when it first started, I probably sit like a day or 2. Now it's pretty rare, maybe a day or 2 as well. But it's more so because of winter right now, or, you know, Wyoming being closed, or, you know, being light and driving through winds and stuff. It's not really because of the loads too much. Occasionally, I know a lot of other drivers too will complain and stuff and say, oh, you know, I've been sitting here for 2 days, you know, blah, blah, blah. True, it does happen, but it's very rare when it happens, you know. So, you know, it's a really good sign, you know. May Trucking has always had, you know, stable loads and stuff, which is really cool. So yeah, I mean, this whole experience that I've had with May Trucking Company has been really good. I mean, I've had to be towed a couple of times. I chained up a couple of times when I was light and I had to get towed out. I had a tire blowout, and that's because I didn't put enough air in the tire. Completely my fault. You know, but I mean, OTRS is by far the nicest people, getting us back on the road. I mean, I've never had a bad experience with them. I have a really good working relationship with my DM. Shout out to Steve out of Denver. I love him. I love all the staff there when I go to Denver. This is, when we say family-oriented company, I mean, you call, they answer you by name. They know exactly who you are. Maybe caller ID, I don't know. But you're not just a number. You're actually a name. You're actually a person to them. When you actually go to these terminals, I bring Lulu up there. You know, they have treats and stuff. They play with the dog and stuff. They're not like, you know, stay 6 feet apart or anything like that. I mean, they're all loving, caring, family-oriented company. That's why I love them here. That's why I'm staying here. That's why I love them so much. And when I compare May Trucking to a lot of different companies, you know, it has what I want. I think, you know, it has everything that you want out of a company, in my opinion. You know, they're family-oriented company and stuff like that. But they're always going to have loads. You're getting your miles. I think flat rate is by far the best thing. I used to be CPM. I make way more money on flat rate. People asking for CPM, it's insane. You would have to get 5 retentions to even make what you're making now in flat rate with the bonuses and stuff. So this flat rate is amazing, and it's other companies are supposed to be coming up with this too come next year as well. So I mean, Make Trucking is just ahead of the curve with this flat rate, or, you know, hourly rate and stuff like that. That is supposed to be coming to the trucking industry. So anyways, like I said, I haven't had any bad experiences. I had, you know, be towed. I had to have, you know, a trailer to blow out, which has all been pretty timely. You know, it takes a couple of hours. Yeah, but I mean, that's not the company's fault. That's whoever the third party is that's kind of coming out to get you as well. So we can't really blame them for anything like that. If you're getting stuck at a shipper receiver, you can't blame the company for that. You know, it's on the shipper or the receiver that's not taking you for whatever reason, whether you're late or if you're too early, or if they don't have the load ready. I mean, that's not, you know, really a fault of the company. That's a fault of the shipper receivers. I mean, I can't be mad at them for that. We do sit sometimes. It's very rare that detention scenarios even come. So I'm not a big stickler on, you know, detention not being paid or anything like that. We get the flat rate. So I mean, flat rate is so awesome. You're getting paid no matter what. So I don't really know what to say. I don't have anything bad. I have a really good relationship with my DM. I don't get along too well with other truckers, especially truckers that have been here for a while. They don't really like me or respect me. And with that, I kind of don't really care. So I don't really talk to them or really, you know, try to talk to them or anything like that. So it is what it is. I've had my signs ripped down. That's kind of probably the only bad thing is until recently, like with this YouTube stuff, I haven't had very much support at all. Because I would make signs and stuff, and they would get ripped down at the terminals by other drivers, of course, because, you know, salty old super truckers, you know, don't want you to promote yourself, I guess, or try to help people. I don't know. But yeah, company wise, 2 years, no complaints. I definitely see myself here for at least another 1 or 2 years. The pay is good. There's nowhere I can go now that would actually pay me more than I make here at May Trucking. As a starter company, I've weighed all my options. I tried to go on local and stuff like that. I'm looking at other jobs. Even right now, there's another job that's able to compete with what I can make, but we'll see. I'm gonna ask for my raise, and if I get it or not, we'll kind of see from there. But there's nowhere that I can really make any more trucking wise, unless, you know, I'm gonna be an owner or operator or something. But I just don't want that responsibility at all. So yeah, this is my 2 years. Hopefully this video helped you, was a little informative. Maybe I babbled a little bit too much. We're running on about 20 minutes now for this video, but that's all my experiences that I have with this company, you know. Gonna see myself here for at least a couple more years. Freight's good, company's good, better than any other starter company. I stand by that. I'll defend that. I would argue with anybody. You cannot go to any other company and have better results. You're not going to get paid more. You're not going to get as much miles. Even being able to go faster. I think the only bad part is you can only go 61. That's going to be changing too, so we'll see. Anyways, much love. God bless you guys. Hopefully you guys like this 2-year review. Much love. Lulu, she loves you too. All right, guys.